Stepping beyond your comfort zone begins with a simple but powerful decision: choosing growth over familiarity. Most people naturally gravitate toward routines and environments that feel safe and predictable because the mind is designed to avoid risk and protect you from discomfort. However, this same instinct can quietly limit your potential, keeping you stuck in patterns that prevent real progress. When you stay in your comfort zone for too long, your confidence does not grow. It slowly weakens because you are no longer proving to yourself that you can handle new challenges. The truth is, confidence is not something you are born with or something that magically appears. It is built through action, especially when you take small steps into the unknown. Each time you try something slightly uncomfortable, you send a message to your mind that you are capable, adaptable, and stronger than your fears. This process does not require dramatic changes or overwhelming risks. In fact, the most effective way to build lasting confidence is through small, consistent actions that gently stretch your limits. For example, speaking up in a conversation when you would normally stay quiet, trying a new activity that feels unfamiliar, or making a decision without overthinking every possible outcome are all simple ways to begin expanding your comfort zone. At first, these actions may feel awkward or even intimidating, but that feeling is a sign of growth, not failure. Over time, what once felt uncomfortable becomes natural, and your comfort zone begins to expand. As it grows, so does your sense of self-belief. You start to trust yourself more because you have evidence, real experiences, that prove you can handle uncertainty. This is how small risks turn into big confidence. It is important to understand that discomfort is not something to avoid, but something to use as a guide. When you feel resistance or fear, it often means you are on the edge of growth. Instead of stepping back, you can lean into that feeling with curiosity and courage. By doing so, you gradually retrain your mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than threats. This shift in perspective is powerful because it changes how you respond to life. Instead of shrinking away from difficulty, you begin to approach it with a sense of possibility. The key is consistency. One small step will not transform your life overnight, but repeated daily actions will create a strong foundation of confidence that continues to build over time. As you practice stepping outside your comfort zone, you will notice that your fears lose their control over you, and your belief in yourself becomes stronger with every experience. As you continue to practice stepping outside your comfort zone, you begin to notice subtle but powerful changes in the way you think and respond to everyday situations. What once felt intimidating starts to feel manageable, and challenges that used to trigger hesitation begin to spark curiosity instead. This transformation happens because your mind is constantly learning from your experiences, and every small risk you take reshapes your internal belief system. Over time, you start to replace limiting thoughts with more empowering ones, simply because you have proven to yourself that you can handle more than you once believed. This is where the teachings inspired by Dr. Joseph Murphy become especially meaningful, as they emphasize the importance of influencing the subconscious mind through repeated action and belief. When you consistently take small steps forward, you are not just changing your behavior. You are reprogramming the deeper part of your mind that controls your confidence, habits, and emotional responses. The key to making this process effective is intentional repetition. It is not enough to step out of your comfort zone once and expect lasting results. Instead, you must create a pattern of action that reinforces the idea that growth is safe and achievable. For example, if you make it a habit to do one uncomfortable thing each day, no matter how small, you begin to normalize the feeling of uncertainty. This reduces the fear associated with it and allows you to move forward with less resistance. Another important part of this journey is learning how to manage setbacks. Not every attempt will go perfectly, and there will be moments when you feel discouraged or doubt your progress. However, these moments are not failures. They are essential parts of growth. Each setback provides valuable feedback that helps you adjust, learn, and improve. Instead of seeing these experiences as reasons to retreat, you can view them as stepping stones that strengthen your resilience. The more you embrace this mindset, the less power fear will have over your decisions. You begin to understand that confidence is not about always succeeding, but about being willing to try, learn, and keep moving forward regardless of the outcome. As this mindset becomes stronger, it starts to influence other areas of your life. You may find yourself taking initiative more often, expressing your ideas with greater clarity, and approaching opportunities that you once avoided. This ripple effect is what makes stepping outside your comfort zone so impactful. It is not limited to one area. It expands into every part of your life, creating a more confident and capable version of yourself. With continued practice, courage becomes a habit rather than an exception, and you begin to realize that the limits you once believed in were never truly fixed, but simply boundaries waiting to be expanded. As this new level of confidence begins to take root, you start to recognize that growth is not a destination, but an ongoing process that evolves with every experience you encounter. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you realize that there is always another level of potential waiting to be explored. This awareness shifts your mindset from seeking temporary comfort to actively pursuing continuous improvement. You begin to understand that fear does not disappear completely. Instead, it changes its role. Rather than acting as a barrier that stops you, it becomes a signal that you are moving in the right direction. This shift in perception allows you to approach challenges with a sense of purpose instead of avoidance. Inspired by the principles associated with Dr. Joseph Murphy, you come to see that your thoughts and repeated actions are shaping your reality on a deeper level than you may have realized before. Each time you act with courage, even in small ways, you are reinforcing a belief system that supports growth, resilience, and self-trust. This internal transformation gradually reflects in your external life, influencing your decisions, relationships, and overall direction. You may begin to notice that opportunities appear more frequently, not because the world has suddenly changed, but because you are now more willing to recognize and pursue them. Your willingness to take risks opens doors that once seemed out of reach, and your expanding confidence allows you to walk through those doors with greater assurance. At this stage, it becomes important to stay mindful and grounded, because growth can sometimes bring new challenges that test your consistency and commitment. It is easy to fall back into old habits when faced with uncertainty or pressure, but this is where your practice of stepping beyond comfort becomes truly valuable. By maintaining your daily efforts, no matter how small, you continue to strengthen the mindset that has brought you this far. Another key element in sustaining this progress is self-reflection. Taking time to acknowledge how far you have come helps reinforce your belief in your own abilities. It reminds you that every step, no matter how minor it seemed at the time, contributed to your growth. This reflection also helps you set new goals that align with your evolving sense of confidence. As you move forward, you begin to see yourself not as someone who avoids challenges, but as someone who embraces them as opportunities for expansion. This identity shift is powerful because it changes the way you approach your future. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions, you take action despite uncertainty, trusting that you will figure things out along the way. In doing so, you create a life driven by intention, courage, and continuous self-development, proving that true confidence is built step by step, through consistent effort and a willingness to grow beyond what feels comfortable.